Hey guys, so as a surprise to no one, the new Dragon Ball game, Sparking Zero, it's come out, and what do you know? It's good. I watched Slow Plays play it, and he said it's kind of like one of the Tenkaichi games, which like 2 and 3 are probably like the best Dragon Ball Z fighting games that you can get. Um, he's like everything. It's kind of like feels like that. The controls, the way the moves are, and the only thing that's different, obviously, is an upgrade in visuals. If you go back and look at Tenkaichi, it looks very much like try to look like the cartoon. Here we have kind of like realistic visuals for the terrain, and the very cartoony look for the characters. But yeah, it's no surprise. This is what happens when you focus on a game and try to make it good. I mean, it's a fighting game, but there are so many fighting games that have come out that are bad, and people don't like them. Come out, just make a game that people like, and you'll be fine. But Dragon Ball Sparking Zero has a huge early access launch with over 91,000. It's over 91,000! Peak concurrent players and very positive reviews. Yeah, because it's a Dragon Ball game. Again, it's like, how do you mess it up? Bandai Namco Entertainment and Spike Chunsoft look to have a hit on it's a Dragon Ball game. Seriously, this is nothing new. According to SteamDB, the game hit a peak concurrent player count of 91,000 in its first day of early access. Not only did the game hit a peak concurrent of 91,000, it rocketed into the top 20 games in the past 24 hours, surpassing Baldur's Gate 3, Monster Hunter World, Deadlock, and War Thunder to hit 16th on the charts. Banana. Really. And then you see like the typical ones like Counter-Strike and PUBG and Dota and there's Black Wukong. Wow. That's a lot. That's a lot of people. Apex Legends, Grand Theft Auto, Wallpaper Engine, Stardew Valley. There's Baldur's Gates, Monster Hunter World, Deadlock, War Thunder. Yep. Not only is the game seeing a monster early access launch, but players are giving the game very positive reviews. Demigro, what are you doing? You're a bad guy. I guess he realized how awesome the game is, and he can't be a demon lord for this time. He's got to come out and speak the truth. Demigro wrote, best Dragon Ball game I've ever played compared to Xenoverse. Breakers, Fighters, and Kakarot. I can say that this is by far the most entertaining Dragon Ball game I've ever played. Thank you, Bandai Namco, for making this masterpiece, and I wish Akira Toriyama was here to see this masterpiece. Dragon Ball Budokai Tenkaichi 2 is one of the best games I played. Yeah, it really was. And Tenkaichi 2 and 3 were like the best. But then when you have the Budokai games, Budokai 3 was really, really good. Budokai 2 was cool because of the whole like interesting game mechanic they added, like having this little overworld where you're like little game pieces type thing going on. You move around the board, and you can collect power-ups and stuff like that. But Budokai 3 allows you to kind of fly around in this, space, and you saw a little glittery thing on, shining down. You can, go down to, and it's like, oh, you found an item, or, certain things like, fights like Broly, or, after enough time and unlocking enough, you can fight, I think, Omega Shenron and get Super Saiyan 4. So it was really, really cool. But Tenkaichi 2 and 3 instead of like the Budokai games where it's just sides, jumping from side to side, up and down, having immerse in 3D, in a three-dimensional world where you can go every which way you want and to destroy things. It was so good. It really is the best Dragon Ball game. Now let's be real here. Dragon Ball GT Final Bout is the best Dragon Ball game of all time. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. People were like, you know what, John? I'm unsubscribing just for that. No, back in the day, I had a friend. We called him England because he wasn't from England, but we were on a military base, so he was, he grew up in England. But we called him England, and we went over to his house, and he had Final Bout. And for some reason, we kept going over there. I don't know if we were going over there for the game or because his sister was freaking cute as hell. Like, she was a few years older than us. Like, I think we were in like middle school, like early, like, yeah, middle school, and she was in high school. She was really cute. So I don't remember if we were going over for Final Bout or to see his sister because she was cute. But yeah, Final Bout is bad. It's a bad game. There's like no characters to choose from. The freaking controls are terrible. It really is a bad game. Dragon Ball Budokai 2 is one of the best games. I'll just read it down here. It was one of the best games. We were blown away. We easily got over 500 hours. Yeah, I probably got as much as well. We were 8 years old. I was well into my teenage years when that game came out. I was like 16, 17 years old, I think. We researched for Dragon Ball Z BD2 every damn day. We always had wished that a successor would come along at some point, and now after 16 years, damn, that feels good. I hope you all have fun with DBZ Spark or Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. Don't lose your friendships. Let's fets. This game you may just have came out, but my goodness, the fan service is great, and there are so many characters as expected. I mean, I saw the character select. It's just like a bunch of transformation. I don't know why they just don't condense like all the transformations into one character. Like, just transform. You don't have to have a transformed character already, as a selectable character. That's stupid. Like, if you're gonna have like 50 million Gokus, you don't need a character select screen where you can choose base Goku or Super Saiyan Goku or whatever. Just have one Goku, like different timeline Gokus, like, early Goku or, Buu Saga Goku or end of, you don't need 50 million Gokus. You don't need 50 million Vegetas. It's just stupid. Let those spaces be taken up by actual characters. That's the only problem I ever have with the like the Tenkaichi games. Same thing. It had a huge character roster, but a lot of those were taken up by transformations because like they were all. It was like, oh, here's Base Goku, here's Super Saiyan. It was just stop. Let's see. The only thing I didn't expect was waiting for the superhero DLC, and also we have to play the game to unlock the characters. I mean, that's normal. That's how it's always been. The reviews are not surprising, giving the commitment to detail. Yeah, these games are always on point. Praise him, revere him. We put a lot of effort into the small details, which that's makes it so special to me. So of course, I'd be happy if the players hopefully notice these details and enjoy this immersive experience of becoming a Dragon Ball character. He also shared in another interview the philosophy behind the game and why they chose to revive the. Okay, so it is a legitimate like Tenkaichi series then. After 17 years, God, I'm old. 17 years ago, we launched the third installment of Budokai Tenkaichi and concluded the series. Since then, we have made several other Dragon Balls. Yep, filling the time and gap for Budokai Tenkaichi play. I don't know why it took so long. Why not just take what you learned from Tenkaichi 2 and like 3 and why do you need like a separate, we've had plenty of, 3D, you know, Dragon Ball games since then. Why is it that none of them could just follow the formula of Tenkaichi? Like Raging Blast or, anything like that. It's like once you move into from the side, scrolling type gameplay, traditional fighter game to 3D, just make the same kind of game, just, change it up a bit. Those old games were great because they had like what if scenarios and stuff like that. So just keep adding things that kind of not reinvent, but keep people interested while keeping the things that work. So I don't know why it's like, oh, it took 17 years. The game should have been playing like this the entire time. I mean, but given all the developments in gaming technology that was the inspiration and incentive to create a more immersive and modern Dragon Ball experience and explore moments that were not in Budokai Tenkaichi 3. Therefore, we decided to create a sequel to Budokai Tenkaichi. And also the fact that like future Gohan, like he never, like he still had both his arms. Even though he wasn't using one of them, he had both of his arms. Now you have future Gohan who looks like future Gohan because he's missing an arm. I think it was like censorship type thing where it's like they couldn't show him without his arm or something. But that's why if you play as future Gohan in those old games, he has both of his arms, but it's like, he's still doing one hand Kamehameha because, like, well, he has both of his arms, but he only has access and use of one of his arms. He elaborated, as a successor, it is important that players who played the previous games have an experience that is new, but it also fits seamlessly into their old memories. When they play the new game, it should feel like, oh yeah, this is familiar, like the previous games. That's, like I said, that's what Slow Play said. He was like, it feels like Tenkaichi, just the graphics different. We adapted the original. The original battle system, which is really good. I love the battle system in that game. Like I was able to pull, the amount of combos you can pull off once you understand the mechanics of the game. And I mean, I remember I went over to someone's house. It was like a freaking friend of my stepmom, and her friend's son had Tenkaichi. Was it 2 or 3? I can't remember which one. But he was like, "Oh, hey, you want to play games?" I'm like, "Oh, you have Tenkaichi." He's like, "Oh yeah, I play it all the time. I'm really, really good." I'm like, "I bet you're not better than me." So we fought, and just like he didn't get one hit in because it was like just once, like I said, once you understand the mechanics, you can pull off some crazy freaking combos right from the start. So it was, it was so good. It was so good. But yeah, it's like, oh yeah, this feels familiar. We adapted the original battle system, but we also kind of evolved it and put it in some new mechanics, trying to create new and more immersive experiences. Which is good. That's something you should do. Keep what people know and what makes the game so great while improving things like graphics or, the fluidity of, the movements and stuff like that. As for what they improved to the series, he shared, one of the main improvements is that we can experience the superpowers of Goku and others in real time. One of our main goals is to let the players experience what it's like to be a character in the Dragon Ball world, and we're putting a lot of effort into this. He then explained how he and his team are doing this. For example, when Goku starts charging his ki, the weather in the background, the background change, or the environment changes. These kinds of things are, of course, possible now in real time. Like if you hit someone with a Kamehameha, For example, you get blown, you can blow them away. Then when they hit a building, the building will crumble or a mountain will be destroyed. So all this interaction with the environment in real time is yeah. I mean, the other games were like that, but what people want is like permanent damage. Like once that mountain is gone, they want it gone. Um, but in a lot of the games, sometimes you like destroy things, like you make craters in the ground, but then the ground just kind of like restores itself. So people want a game where, if you destroy a mountain or you destroy a hill or giant rock, then it stays gone. But if you hit the ground, they want the ground to stay gone too. He also shared that they introduced a new ability called a revenge counter that allows you to counter opponents when they attack you. Uh, for example, like in the Dragon Ball series, you can instantly move from one place to another using a quasi teleportation. And there are other things, like when you are attacked, you can counter the. Yeah. This is called a revenge counter in the new game. They're all things that the fans know from the Dragon Ball series, which are now added to the fighting system so that you have even more, that you can have an even more Dragon Ball experience. Oh yeah, seeing that play out, so good, so it was a great episode. That was a great episode. Oh my god, I think everyone came after watching that episode. Um, let's see. Sure. So you can probably you could probably see in the previous videos released or release videos, there's an option for players to make choices within the episode battle, which will impact how the story will proceed. But at the same time, there are certain outcomes of battle that may also impact the outcome of the story, which kind of makes sense. I think it was, what was it, Tenkaichi 2 or 3 had like the same kind of thing. I think maybe the Xenoverse games, I think the Xenoverse games had the same thing where, you could choose, if you lose, it's one outcome, like it still proceeds, like the story will still proceed if you lose, because it's like, oh, it's kind of a forced lose. Or you could beat them and then you get another type of outcome from it. Or using a certain move at a certain time and you get like certain dialogue or something afterwards, and just, uh for example, if within an episode battle you win against an opponent that in the anime you weren't able to beat, this may impact upcoming battle and battle scenarios. Both the choices that the player makes and the outcomes of the battle may influence the chance that the player will experience new battle story paths. Yeah, that reminds that of Budokai Tenkaichi, not Budokai, Xenoverse, in Xenoverse 2, where you do fights and then there's like a whole branching path kind of thing where, it's one fight can lead to different outcomes. It's pretty cool. It's in the time nest area, and it's pretty interesting because, like I said, it like unlocks, it's like a branching story where you do this thing, it can go this way. You do something else. Like I remember it was one of them. It was Goku and Vegeta fighting Whis, but then like Xeno Goku and Xeno Vegeta show up, and there's ways it can go. I think I unlocked one path and I was trying to go back, but I'm like, what do I do to unlock the other path? Because it shows the scenario you're on and then the branching paths that it can take. So it's like, okay, I unlocked one of them. There's two more paths that I can get. How do I get them? So it's fun. It gives you reason to go back and replay it. So it's pretty cool. However, he did indicate that this is limited given its base of the source material. I mean, you can always use them as what ifs. I mean, what if scenarios in these games have always been fun. Of course, episode battle is based on the original scenarios, so naturally these choices and the different outcomes are limited to battle stages and will not be available all the time. So, I mean, it's a really great game. I would love to see the episode itself, like instead of hand-drawn animation, to have it play out, in game, just the entire episode. The entire episode from Goku going mastered UI to that final bit with him and Frieza, and that is such a good episode. Such a good episode. And like I see this and instantly I think of the music that was playing when it was happening with him and Frieza charging at Jiren, and Frieza 17 is like shooting blasts kind of as a distraction, and the freaking sliding down the pole, and Frieza's like, throw me, toss me sand. And he's like, all right, roof. And then Frieza just goes, and Goku comes flying down, and he's in and out of Super Saiyan. He's into Jiren, and they both get him off the side. It's like, oh my god, it's such a good episode. Also the other episode that was really good, the final episode of Goku versus Kefla. You know what part I'm talking about. Her and her overconfidence, like, oh, you can't dodge in the air. And then he's charging up, and he's just like, woof. And he uses the Kamehameha that he has charged up as like a ball to like kind of maneuver over her blast. And then he gets to her just point blank in her face, just doof. And it's so good. It's like a triple take. But yeah, I'm glad to see that people are enjoying the game, because these games are always fun. Tenkaichi, just the series as a whole, even the first one, it was the whole series, all three of them are great. And to see them kind of going back to those games and kind of taking what made them great and kind of bringing them into a modern stage, because obviously things aren't the same as they were back then technology wise. So with the modern technology, we can just do crazy things. So, but yeah, if you've played it, let me know. I would, but I don't have money for it, whether it be on computer or I don't have any consoles. So anyway, let me know what you guys think if you have it, and if you're going to get it. And what is your favorite Dragon Ball Z game or Dragon Ball game? And tell me why it's GT Final Bout. Anyway, that's gonna do it for me. You guys know the drill. I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys.